Welcome to a tasting of this week's new coffee release, which happens to be Pinhal from Brazil. It is a natural processed mixed cultivar coffee and one that should, on the cupping table, possess lots of fruit characteristics in that classic Brazil texture and body. So I'll come to the tasting shortly, but I'll just quickly describe my roast process this week. I've done 3 batches, 2 of which are allocated to our coffee subscribers, so go and subscribe if you haven't already. And then another one which would be floating around for our e-commerce customers and the farmers markets that I do on the weekend. With a brand new coffee, I have to make an exploratory roast within the roasting environment, and even more so now that I'm roasting on the Loring versus the Probat. So I've got to learn quickly how to execute a tasty roasted batch. That means that I have to do a little bit of roast planning, and as I'm working through the Loring, I'm trying to figure out exactly what that equipment is capable of, what expression the machine allows me to have in the cup, and come together with some sort of, I want to call it a basic roast profile, one that I can use for that first batch. I'm a small business, 4 employees. We cannot throw away the batches that we don't quite get right. I have to learn exceptionally quickly and be able to sell the batches, right? So it is super important for me not to make a mistake. It is super important for me to learn quickly. And fortunately with this coffee, that's exactly what I've done. Ironically, the first batch, the one where I was trying to really push the fruit characteristics of the cup, I think has been the preferred. The other 2 batches that I've done, slightly longer development time, same total roast time because I'm roasting a natural process Brazil, and a similar end temperature, I feel that has created a little more texture, which is positive for those people who like to do espresso brewing, but to the detriment of some of the beautiful fruit characteristics. So this was a 10.5 minute roast. This particular coffee was 1 minute and 45 post first crack development. Now, on the Loring, I can't really hear first crack, so I arbitrarily set first crack at 202.5 degrees Celsius. I've done a little bit of exploration to figure out whether it's 195, 200, 205, etc. with some of the roasts that I've done, and it seems to be somewhere close to 2.5. So because I can't hear it, I just mark that same point on every batch that I roast so far until I test otherwise. So minute and 45, 10.5 minutes, very, very standard gas application from the onset of the roast through till about 180 degrees Celsius, where I then begin to taper out. So a static temperature throughout until I get to about 180, and then I start tapering the temperature away to just try to draw out some of the Maillard reactions and create more texture in the cup and give me enough energy to go into first crack with enough expulsion of water and enough of those, again, post first crack chemistry that happens. So let's have a quick taste. Right. So the first thing you'll note about this coffee is there's this pretty prevalent sweet stone fruit in the orange spectrum. So we've said nectarine. There's a light dusting of citrus as well. So again, sweet orange, think satsuma, that type of scenario. There are caramels, as this has cooled, because I'm somewhere close to 18 minutes in now, having tried to film this, etc. Somewhere close to 18 minutes in, there's quite a lot of creamy texture to it. It is a clean cup for a natural process Brazil, which is pretty nice, because I like that. I like clean, crisp, transparent coffees. There is the classic Brazil chocolate in the background, but it's exactly that, sat in the background. It's not something that is sitting right in front of you. This coffee, as I taste again, this coffee would make a stunning filter brew for those people who enjoy a particular fruit, but texture. Not everybody wants ultra clean, ultra crisp, washed coffees. Some people enjoy a bit of body, and I think if that's you, but you do like contemporary, slightly esoteric coffees, this is going to be right up your street. I would say also maybe not this batch, but the other 2 batches that I've done with a slightly longer development time, it would make a really interesting espresso. So I'm going to try and encourage a couple of my commercial customers who run forward-thinking cafes to run this momentarily on bar as their guest espressos. Right, okay, so to recap, natural processed coffee from Brazil, mixed cultivar, roasted for expression of fruit on the loring. Expect orange stone fruit like nectarine, caramels, some chocolate, a tickle of satsuma, sort of sweet orange in there, and some other broad fruit characteristics. A really stellar coffee, one that I'm sure that you'll enjoy. So go and buy the coffee. Cheers.